It sounds in the moonlight.
Hey, buddies, and welcome back to the Cosmic Compass podcast with Tina and Liz. And today, I am really nervous. I've already talked about it, like doing some weird recordings. I don't know why, but we're super excited to be here. We're going to go over birth charts, and I'm going to just send it on over to Tina that way.
Hi. Okay, so your birth charts. Okay, now we're going to keep it simple because birth charts can go into depth and we can be sitting here for hours. But we want to keep it basic. So your birth chart is basically your own personal stamp in life. When you were born, you were stamped. And then whatever it says, that's who you are. Also, when you start getting more into the different houses and the signs and the planets, right? Some look at it as a roadmap to where you're going to end up. So that's why a lot of people like to look at the birth charts and get more depth of what they're feeling and how they're going to get there. Do you have a chart, Jen? Can you pull that chart up?
Yeah. Of course I do. When I find
She
my
was like,
mouse. I was just all ears, and then like, oh yeah, that's me. Hold on, come on, mouse. Where's my mouse?
Because the easiest way to explain it is to show the birth chart
Yeah.
and then
Add to
go
stage.
over it.
Boom! Look at what I did. Okay, here's.
Oh, look at that.
You just let me know if you want me to scroll up, down.
Okay. No. Can you zoom in or no?
Yeah, I should be able to zoom in. Oh, look at that! Look at
Look at
I got
that.
Oh, maybe a little bit too far. There we go.
Okay. So, just to start off to be basic, when everyone thinks of who they are, they always think of their sun sign. It's basically like me, I'm a Cancer, Liz, you're a Gemini, Jen, you're a Scorpio. That's like the first sign that you think of, right? But then when you're listening to other people, when they're talking, they're like, oh, my sun, moon, and rising. So your moon is actually like your emotions and how you feel about things. It's all inner parts of you. And your rising is your ascendant. On this chart, if you see ASC, that line goes all the way across. Okay, where that ASC is at, that is the eastern part of the chart, and that will always stay there. And wherever that lands on your chart, that's what you are. They say that the ascending sign is something that you inquire to be, something that you want to become.
Well, that's kind of weird because I'm already a Scorpio.
but no, you
Well,
go the
yes.
other way and it goes to Taurus, right?
Yeah. So if you have more signs, right? Or signs that are the same, that it just indicates a more stronger connection to that sign. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like it's like a, you know, like building blocks. So if you have one, then that's, you know, okay. But then if you have 2, 3, or 4, then that's just helping you even more so to that point.
I have
You got
5.
your hand up?
No, I was saying.
Oh no.
I have 5 Scorpios.
Yes. So your sun is a Scorpio. Your moon, where's your moon?
Pisces.
Pisces.
Which I did a quick little search because I was curious because I don't really know a lot about some of these other signs. God, this is weird having headphones in. I feel like I'm yelling, but I'm not. I don't know. Anyways, I did because I don't know a lot about Pisces, so I was curious as to what like Pisces emotional traits are.
Yes.
And I found it interesting. So there's under the moon is empathy, imagination, creativity, sensitivity, intuitive, caring, non-judgmental, flirting. I don't think I'm a flirty person. And sometimes I'm judgy.
I'm just joking.
Sometimes I'm judgy. I'm human. But yeah, I found a lot of those interesting because obviously I'm super empathetic, empathic, whatever the
Empathetic.
word is. I'm a super
Empath. Mhm.
empath.
Compassion, intuition, creativity is basically the Pisces.
Yeah,
Hmm.
pretty much.
So that's your emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Your moon is your emotion.
Yeah.
It's how you deal with things, okay? And then your rising is your Scorpio,
And
right?
that's sun, right? Or ascendant.
No, your ascendant
Is Scorpio.
is Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think if I'm
Now,
looking at,
is that because they're all on that side of the chart there? And so wherever the symbol is like closest to is how you read that?
okay, so what happens, all right, let me go ahead and break down the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the chart where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, those are the houses. This is where all your signs or your planets fall into, okay? That doesn't move, that always stays the same for everybody on this planet. So ones will always be pointing in that direction. Twos is the next one, threes, fours, five, and so forth. The outer black ring, those are the signs, but that will shift depending on when you were born, the time, and all that. That will always be different for somebody. The planets that are in there, it just all depends on, like I said, like when you were born. So everybody's could be different. Like, let me pull up mine real quick. I'll show you mine. Ooh, it's Jen's. Cancer. Is this mine? I have so many different charts on here from everyone's. Okay. So, see, mine is different.
Oh, here, I can make this a little bit better. Move and do bigger.
There you go. Not everybody's is always on one side. It could be spread out all around the chart.
Because it's based off of where, like, the planet
So we're
or
aligned
moon or wherever was aligned at the time.
when you were born.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know Jen, you had a question a while ago about the lines.
Yes, the colors. Is there a
Yes.
significant of the colors here? Let me put that back on the stage.
The colors, not necessarily, because everybody that does their charts, they just put the different colors, but the lines do mean something.
Okay.
So the lines are the degrees of which each planet hit each other.
Okay.
Okay. So what that is they're called degrees and aspects. So like if two planets are in the same, like right next to each other, they're in the same house.
Mhm.
So for example, here you have I don't know what all these symbols are, but over here on the right hand side where it's closest to Gemini and Taurus.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those two together, that would be considered a conjunction,
Okay.
which means they are so close to each other that they combine their energies for that particular house, which that's the seventh house, right? And the seventh house is relationships, marriages, and partners.
And then what two planets are those?
That one is the north. Yeah, that one's the north node, and the Chiron.
Chiron.
Which the north node and the Chiron are They're kind of like they're like really small planet. They're not part of our planets per se. They're kind of like meteors that kind of just linger around in the atmosphere, but they're there, but they're not really considered planets.
But obviously big enough that it has some kind of a
Yes,
gravitational
impact.
pull.
Yes.
Or effect.
So, okay, so your Chiron is it's like a really small planet. It represents a person's deep wounds and healing and how to navigate the healing. Okay? And your north node represents growing in the direction of the soul that you're meant to take on. And both of those are in your house of relationships.
You said growing in what?
Growing into the direction that your soul is meant to take.
Okay. Because I was looking up some of this stuff earlier, and
Mhm.
ADHD kicked in really bad, and so I only
Mhm.
got I only got some Mercury.
Mhm.
But I mean, I found I want to keep searching because like I'm really curious as to what like traits are in each of these.
Yes. So now with all the other signs though, so then you have sextiles, which they're 60 degrees with each other. So depending on this chart, I think this is the astrocharts.com. If you
Yeah.
look it up, it'll break it down, right? Which the degrees are in.
Yeah, right here.
Mhm. So, but go back up to the lines again. Let's talk about the lines and then we'll get to the degrees.
Okay.
So the lines, like if you have two signs that are 60 degrees of each other, right? And it'll show one of the lines will be 60 degrees. It means that that sign kind of helps the other sign out, even though it could be far away from each other or in a
Mhm.
different house. So what it's saying is that like this particular planet and house kind of helps this aspect out a little bit.
So that's why some of these, so like down here at the bottom, the purple line
Mhm.
at the whatever that symbol is in Capricorn to Pisces, the
Mhm.
Mhm.
moon. So that's what you're saying is they like help each
Yeah.
other. Okay.
They kind of help each other out in order to in those two houses in order to make things happen. They kind of just give each other a helping hand.
Okay.
Okay. There's another one that is a 90 degree and that's considered a square. That one, they have different ideas, those two planets.
Mm-hmm.
Totally two different ideas to get to the same goal.
That sounds like an officer and an NCO.
Yeah. So it's like they know where they need to be, but they have completely different ways of getting there, right?
Okay. But that's only if you have a square. I don't see any squares on mine.
It's a 90 degree. You
Or
may not
what?
have
Yeah,
any.
that's what I'm saying. That's only if you have a because I'm not seeing any 90
Yeah.
degrees. But it's
And then
also a
you
lot of lines.
yeah, and then you have your Trine, which is 120 degrees. And that one like saves each other. So if something happens to that one, the other one comes in and pretty much saves it. Like it helps it so much
Mm-hmm.
that it saves whatever disasters come along.
Okay.
And then you have 180 degree opposition,
Mm-hmm.
and that one is completely opposite.
Yeah.
Like they are just like two magnets.
So like
They don't want nothing to do with each other.
like my blue line that's going over here to
Yeah.
this weird horseshoe to the 5.
Yeah. The 5 is you're so funny. The 5 is Saturn. So
Okay.
your North Node and your Saturn are really they just don't like each other
Oh.
whatsoever.
Let's see. My North Node is Taurus, and my
Mhm.
Saturn is Scorpio.
Mhm. It's like nope.
Yep.
Now your degrees. So each house, 1 through 12, each house has 30 degrees in it.
Okay.
Okay. So the degrees, okay, and the little number that's next to it, you remember I think you were asking me about that?
Yeah, if that's
Those
in
are
feet.
no, yeah. Those are minutes.
Oh, that's a weird way to write minutes. Why didn't they just put
Yeah,
like a little M?
I know.
They put a foot symbol. Like I
Yeah.
was like, what's 11 degrees and 40 feet?
Right. Like, was I 40 feet away from that?
I don't know.
So this is for basically for people who really want to get in depth with their chart. So the minute could mean like, okay, so let's just say I'm a Cancer and I'm 29 degrees, right?
Mhm.
And the next one is, let's say it's Leo. Let's just say. That starts the next 1 to 30 degree mark, right?
Mhm.
It's just telling me that I'm so close to Leo, I'm like right on the cusp, that I could actually be a little, a little bit Leo and a little bit
Okay,
Cancer.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And then when you have your minutes, that's how close to Leo I am. Like if I'm like 59 minutes,
Mhm.
then I'm just like right there, and that's
Hmm.
for people who really want to get really in depth.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I'll
It's
be
a,
there.
it's a lot.
I don't know if I'll ever be there.
It's a lot. So basically that's what this chart is. So your houses, they all mean something different. I can go over that if you want. And then the outer ring is your signs, and that's like a dial. It's like a turner, so it's different for everybody. And then your planets, whatever that the signs, whatever that means. I mean, basically you would need to know what each sign means
Mhm.
to understand how that represents each house.
Okay. So should we scroll down now?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now that everybody's got my birthday and where I was born. Just kidding. I don't care. I tell everybody.
All right, so let's take a look. Do you want to go over what each one means for you?
um. Yeah, I mean, and because like there was some things that I wanted to dissect a little bit that I took mainly the Mercury because that's obviously where I got stuck at because that's where I found some interesting things.
Is that what you were talking about? Like the morning star and a night star?
Yeah,
So, okay,
that's
so
for
you
apparently it's for everybody. Like so what I found out was um when it comes to Mercury there
Mhm.
are three different uh essentially subsets, I guess. You can either be in the morning phase, evening phase, or the combust. I'm gonna hide this screen real quick because I have up the other website where this guy he kind of talks about not him. Um, so it says that there's oh my god, there's just so much when it comes to Mercury. So
Mhm.
sorry, I'm trying to find my spot. Um, they have slightly different qualities from what I found. So we obviously I'm an evening star, and it's based on the degrees of Mercury to the sun, is what we
So
found out.
how did you find out you were an evening star?
That's what I
Like
gotta find.
what sign are you going off of?
It
Because is it your Venus?
no, the Mercury sign, the actual Mercury sign. So the under you got Sun, Moon, Mercury, the planets
Mhm.
under the planets or whatever. That's what I was going off of, and there was something somewhere if I could freaking find it, that explained what the degrees were. So if it was under a certain degrees, you were morning star. If it was past a certain degrees, you're evening. If it was right at 14 degrees, then you're the combust. Like it's only 14 degrees is what it was. But now I guess I didn't leave that one up. But anyways, so it goes into like that's how you figure out which one you are, morning star, evening star, or combust. And then what I'd found on as far as there, and then it goes deeper. It says if Mercury is a morning star and it was in retrograde. So like it even goes deeper. Like was Mercury in retrograde when you were born? Which when I looked it up for me, Mercury was in retrograde. So with me
Mhm.
being an evening star and it being in retrograde, it says if Mercury is evening star and retrograde, it is contemplative and artistic. They can become icons in their area of excellence. Examples of Mercury retrograde evening stars. Literally never heard of any of these people except for Madonna. So there's Gabriel Garcia Marquez or whatever, Salvador Dali, and Madonna. Never heard
Hmm.
of the other ones, but anyways, that's what I found with that. But I also found that evening stars are more organized, more fluent, more experienced. They lack enthusiasm and curiosity. So essentially, the morning stars are like
Mhm.
your young, like new souls, is what I'm taking from it. And the evening stars are more your old souls because they're more experienced. They've been around. They're old and decrepit, so their curiosity's not really there. They're just kind of like meh. Whereas the young people are like, yeah, let's go, but they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. That's kind of what I
Look,
gathered from the
look,
evening star and morning star.
Jen needs all the degrees and minutes in her chart. That's what she's going into.
No, I don't.
Okay, so you know Mercury is a thought process, how you receive information,
Mm-hmm.
how you put information back out into the world. It's all based on communication. That's what Mercury is.
Yes.
Okay.
And so for me, this is so fucking on point with some of this shit. So with me being Mercury, my Mercury's in Scorpio. I am
Huh?
obsessive about truth. I'm obsessive about other things
Obsessive
too, but
about charts.
obsessive about the truth. Direct and concise, respectful of boundaries, kind of, for the most part, I think I am. Deep well of knowledge, depending on the topic. I'm insightful, observant, and imaginative.
Mhm.
That's what the Scorpio Mercury's. Oh, and I know we're kind of bouncing around, but I also found out, and I feel like this would be the same for pretty much any sun sign, that they're going to shift, because so there's three types of Scorpio suns. There is the Libra
Mhm.
Scorpio sun, there's the Sagittarius Scorpio sun, and then there's the Scorpio sun. I'm obviously Scorpio. But
Scorpio.
Scorpio. And I found that it's more common for October Scorpios to be Libra. Oh, I'm sorry, Mercury's. I wrote that wrong. Mercury's. There's three different Mercury's. Anyways, it's more common for October Scorpios to be Libra, and November Scorpios to be Sagittarius. So it's kind of
Yes.
interesting that me being a
Yeah, and
November Scorpio, because I'm right here.
that's where the degrees fall in,
Mm.
because even though you're looking at um the different signs in the houses of where they lay, but once it crosses that degree, that's when it starts to go over into that next
Mm-hmm.
sign. So the closer you are, that's why some people, they're like, oh, I'm a Virgo, but I'm a September Virgo. You know what I mean? And some are like Virgo, but I'm an August Virgo because I was born, the 30th, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, or however it goes.
Now, what do you guys
Leos.
what do you guys think about, because there's supposed to be a 13th zodiac sign. And there's a lot of evidence that shows that there were supposed to be 13 months. Like
Mm.
everything was revolved around the number 13.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was supposed to be a 13th zodiac sign, a 13th month, so shouldn't there be a 13th house? And what do you think it would be?
Mm.
Have
I
you
don't know.
looked into the new zodiac sign? I mean, this was
No, I
obviously
didn't
years
see
ago.
that.
Oh,
I
this was
heard
years ago.
about
Yeah.
I heard about the different months and stuff, but I didn't hear about. I think I heard a little bit about something of it, but I was just like not paying
Yeah,
attention.
I don't know how true, but to me it makes sense that there should be 13.
Yeah.
But like with this new the added one, it shifted me over, and I ended up being something weird. I don't remember what it
You
was, but it
you
wasn't
something weird?
Yeah.
No.
But I'm like, it wasn't a Scorpio, and I'm like, no, I'm a Scorpio, 100%. I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah, because you got like 16 of them in your chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, that's just the basics of the birth chart.
Definitely
know.
gives me something to like look further into to learn more about myself.
Yeah. So,
what I
like, the main thing I would tell somebody is first to read on what each sign means. Your Cancers, Virgos, Scorpios, like what represents them. And then I would go and read on the houses, because the houses, I'm going to show you this real quick. I pulled this off online. But the houses really show you which aspect in your life that these signs are going to represent.
Huh.
And like I said, the houses, they never move. So one is always going to be in that position.
It's just a
for
matter
everybody.
of like what signs or planets
What
fall.
planet
Yeah.
falls in there, and then
Yeah.
what sign aligns with that house.
Yeah. It's just like this thing is floating, and when you're born, it's like I said, it's like a stamp. It just stamps you. And you're like, oh, here I am.
Yeah, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know for me, it's pretty freaking accurate. Like, how do you feel about yours, Liz? Pretty accurate? Like, if you compare, like, personalities and, like, what the traits say about you in those different areas?
You would put me on the spot like
Yeah.
that.
Come on. Oh, my nose is itchy.
So let's look at it. I mean, most of the time, like she was talking about earlier, with, most people identifying with just their sun sign, for the most part, my sun sign's pretty accurate. But I know, like, that's what you were saying as far as, like, when people don't feel like they resonate with, like, some of the things like that you might see, let's say, in a horoscope or something like that, it's because there's more to you than just that sun sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to look at this real quick. See, like, if you pull mine up, you were talking about how not everybody's is one-sided. So
Mhm.
mine's pretty, like, spread out across the chart.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot that. I guess I could have went ahead and, like, sent those to myself, so then I could have brought it up on the big screen. My bad.
I mean, I did send it to everybody, no?
But I meant, like, yeah, and via text message. Because I want to look at. Oh wow, because I really didn't look at anybody else's. I looked at mine. But
yeah, Liz is really. You're really like. Yours looks really organized.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
I'm
It's
gonna-
not like just spit out everywhere. It just looks like, okay, this line,
like,
and then this line. Yeah.
like, look at that, you guys. That's
Yeah.
That's like an OCD person's dream. Like, oh yeah, look, even the stars even put it in there for me.
Yeah.
Just means I'm, like, even and well-rounded,
Yeah. I mean, I just based on that, not knowing, like, the actual signs, I would look at that and be like, oh, this is a very well balanced person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I would be curious, like Tina said, to kind of go, more into, now, like earlier you mentioned how Jen had like 17 Scorpios in her chart.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
She has, okay, so it's called a stellium, which means, I mean, it's kind of rare where you have multiple signs in your chart. But what's even more rare is when you have multiple signs like in the same house or in the same as the same sign. You know what I mean? Like she would have like she has like if somebody has 3 Scorpios in the first house or something like that.
Okay.
But it's still rare when you have an abundance of one sign in your chart altogether.
Yeah, I'm very lopsided.
Like you have 3 Geminis. 2 Taurus.
Okay, because you're
Oh.
saying I have like 3 planets in that house in Gemini. Is that what you mean by that?
You have, hold on, let me pull it back up.
She's got 4 Gemini.
1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, she has
Almost.
4.
4. Yeah.
4. So you have different planets that fall into your Gemini house. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you said this kind of like interesting little octopus looking creature next to my Taurus. Is that your north node? Is that what that is? Or was that?
The one that has the hook with the little 2 little circles at the bottom with the
Mhm.
Yes, that's your north node.
Okay.
Oh, the horseshoe looking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because
And your north node is the person that you're growing.
Jen and I have our north node in the same sign.
Yeah. Taurus.
Yep.
So that we got to look into that. Growing into direction this whatever this that's what I wrote. Growing into direction soul. That wasn't a very good
This
writing.
this soul is meant to take.
The soul is meant to take. I should have finished writing it. Soul
Yeah.
is meant.
And see, like my north node is really right on the cusp of Libra and Virgo.
Mhm.
So I can go either way with that.
What did MC is that moon chart?
That is medium Chile.
I said
So what
moon chart. I
happened
thought it was a moon.
So what happens is that is the direct center of like the earth. So when you were born, that's the direction where the alignment was with like I guess with the earth, with the sun.
It was at 20 degrees and 25 feet in Leo.
Mhm. Yeah, I forgot.
So what is that? What is that effect? Because so the only ones that I don't have is ascendant and the whatever MC. Like I already forgot what you said. What is that effect?
I'm about to tell you right now. This one I had to.
Yeah, because before we kind of went off on a, I don't know, left fielder. You were talking about how your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascending or rising sign affect each other.
Mm-hmm. So your MC is kind of like your mid heaven, like right directly where I don't know how to put it. Hold on, I'm like lost on my words. When you were born, I believe this is in the morning sunrise, like the peak of the morning. I think that's what I want to say. So your MC is said to influence you. Certain things that will influence you in your lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So it could influence your career path, your goals, achievements, reputation, public image, how the public perceives you, stuff in your career. So wherever it falls, like yours, you said yours falls in Leo.
Yes.
So your Leo, that means in that aspect, it's confidence, creativity, leadership, and attention seeking.
I think I need to start tapping into that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Tapping it because the confidence I'm definitely lacking. In
No.
some things, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what about ascendant?
Your ascendant sign?
Mm-hmm. Is that just your regular sign?
Yeah, it's your rising sign, right?
Yeah, it's your rising sign.
Oh, I thought rising sign was your sun sign.
No. So you have the ascendant
sun
and
is
rising
sun.
are synonymous, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, that's just kind of redundant to put that
No.
on there twice, isn't it?
Well, it's not on there twice. Yours
Ascend-
just might be the same. Not everybody's are the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are yours the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
everybody's may
I'm a
not be the
Scorpio
same.
through and through. Like,
Like, see, my sun is Cancer, but my rising is Virgo.
Yeah. See, my sun is
Oh.
Gemini, but my rising is Libra.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So when everybody says rising, they really mean that's what ascendant is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
that's what you're rising to be.
I'm
Your
already there.
ascendant, your ascendant is like what you aspire to become. Like it's like we have like this roadmap, this path, and we start off with the sun. The sun is what gives us all of our tools in order to get to the ending, which will be your rising, your ascendant sign.
Ah.
Hmm.
Do we have to do this right now? Apparently. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me go let the baby out. Will pull myself from this room.
It's okay. We'll just talk about you while you're gone.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No worries. Wait, will I still be able to? Hopefully, I should still be able to hear. Let me test this out.
Nope.
Jen, check 1 2 1 2.
She dropped out.
Uh-oh.
I
Let's
was
talk-
just in the backstage. I meant for the recording. Will I still be able to record you guys while I'm gone?
Just
Okay.
keep recording. Just get out of your seat and go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just look at your empty chair.
Okay, fine. I'll be right back.
All right, you know, Jen. You know.
She
All right,
took her headphones off.
Let's. Do you have any questions about your chart? I know it's like all over the place, but it's like there's so much information.
Oh
I
my
just don't
gosh. So
want-
this is the thing about like birth charts, right? That's really overwhelming. So like I picked up a book a while, like, oh my gosh, probably 2 years ago about like a basic astrology book.
Mhm.
And I read the first like 2 pages and I was like, I am obviously not ready for this because I feel like I'm reading like a astrophysics book, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's a lot.
It is.
So for the purposes of this kind of basic course,
Mhm.
so you're saying that, and I just reiterating kind of what you've been talking about. So like your sun sign is kind of like who you were born as, right?
Yeah.
Based on
Mhm.
this chart. And then your ascending sign is where you're trying to get to.
Mhm.
And then your moon sign is the emotions and kind of thought processes that
It's going to take
you
you along the way.
experience
Mhm.
and how you interact with your outer world, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be a good way to say that. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So when we get into, and like you said, it may be like we have to talk about this on another, session or what have you,
Yeah.
about how you pull in all 12 of these houses and then all 12 is it no, it'd be 9 planets, right? Because that's what all these little symbols are, right?
Those are planets.
Okay. So, okay.
10, 11, 12. There's actually oddly there's 13. I mean, if you don't want to count the North Node and your Shinran,
Well, right. I was gonna say those are not a planet like we would think of
11.
because they're
Yeah.
not like in our solar system.
Yeah.
Um, and the North Node, that
Mhm.
is important because I know I've heard it referenced like several times.
Mhm.
Can you give like a little bit of how like your North Node, is it like a directional thing?
Shh, she's back. Hold on. Shh, shh, she's back.
I heard everything you guys said about me.
Mhm.
Everything. I'm mad.
The North Node kind of helps what represents you, like what you're trying to become. So it kind of helps out your ascendant sign, kind of. They're
Okay.
kind of in the same
So
aspect.
could you
Let's look. No, I was gonna say, let's look at your North Node. You're in Taurus, right?
Mhm. At 16 degrees and 47 feet.
For-
Mine is at 28 degrees and 13 feet.
So, with that being said, right? So you're 16 degrees, right? So you're moving along like, yeah, see, you're almost the way it's positioned. It's like you could even jump into the next.
Which would be Aries.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's take a look. Let's see. You're Taurus. And now remember, this is what you're inspiring to be, right? Sensuality, stability, reliable, love of comfort.
Which is crazy if you think about it, because that's a little bit contradictory to really what like Gemini is. Gemini is very like flighty and indecisive, and there's a lot of duality in that sign. So to like strive to be something,
Yes. However, though, Geminis are very adaptable.
yes.
So, in that aspect, it can adapt to the Taurus.
Oh yeah. Well, would you
Yeah.
say that like your North Node is really more like higher self, or would you
It
say
could
that this?
be. It could be because your ascendant sign is almost like you achieving it at the
Mhm,
end of your journey.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the North Node could be the peak.
I'm so glad you said that because, like, as you kept saying, like, North Node, I just kept thinking of, like, it's like when someone says, like, where's your North Star facing or pointing you? You know, it's like where your North Star is.
Like your true north, yeah.
Yeah, your
Mhm.
true North. That's so crazy. Ah!
Mhm.
I'm like a firm believer that like all these different things, right? Like Tina
Mhm.
said in the beginning, your birth chart is like a snapshot of
Mhm.
where things were when you were born, but it's also almost like you refer to it as like a roadmap,
Mhm.
right? So the more you get into how the houses conjunct and you get into the minutes and the degrees and all the things
Mhm.
that are far beyond this particular episode, uh, helps you figure things out or learn more about yourself,
Mhm.
right? That then trickles into like all the other different modalities and things where when we have a better awareness and understanding of
Mhm.
how we are and why we are the way we are. Like I know Jen was looking a lot into human design there for a while.
Mhm.
And so it's just interesting how they like, start to like lock in. If
Mhm.
the whole so part of this yoga teacher training, you got to read all these books, and some of it's like, again, astrophysics, right?
Mhm.
But it talks a lot about how basically your purpose here is to just find yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. So then if you have this birth chart that is almost like a roadmap on how to get there, right? So in this brief, very beginner level breakdown of what you do and your expertise, you've said that, hey, you are born as a Gemini, right? But you're ascending to be a Libra, or and your north node is in Taurus, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just find it really interesting how like
Mhm.
it could really open up some mind-blowing revelations.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so many. Quick question: what is the 12th house?
Your 12th house is, hold on, I don't have any of these things memorized. Yeah, excuse me. 12th house is like retreat, escape, hidden releases, unconsciousness.
Yeah, but like, doesn't each house, like, isn't each house represented by, like, even though like it's not actually, how am I trying to say this? Isn't each house represented by a zodiac sign, even if it might not, like, your 12th house might not be in Scorpio, but it's represented. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So everybody's kind of different, and that's where the dial of the black
Mm-hmm.
part of the chart is different for everybody. So
Okay,
it could
I
be turned
wasn't
this
sure.
way, it could be turned that way, and wherever your house lands, that's where you know what represents that house.
Right.
so everybody's 12th house is different.
No,
It could
I
be.
understand that everybody's house is different, but isn't each house like have like an actual representation? Like, isn't
Yes.
a zodiac assigned to each? I know. How am I trying to say this? Because I know it's different for everybody. It's kind of
Yeah.
like because let me tell you where my mind went. Because I've been doing a lot of deep thinking about some
Hmm.
crazy stuff. We're not ready for that quite yet. But what I was
That's on the
thinking,
third episode.
no,
No, go ahead.
I don't know about the third episode. It's because it's very deep and crazy. But anyways, what I was thinking was, because I feel that I am one of those that I do believe that we have multiple lives here.
Mhm.
I also think that we could possibly be limited. I don't know, that we have no idea. But what I
Mhm.
was thinking was like, because remember I said like there's old souls. Well, I always had this thought that, oh, I was born in November, which is the 11th month, which means I'm on my 11th life. Like, for some reason, that was what was always in my head. So that's why I asked, like, about the houses, because with
Mhm.
mine, if I'm ascending to try to be a Scorpio, but I'm already a Scorpio, that's why I was like, is Scorpio my last stop? Like, is this
Yeah.
my last life? Is what I
Yeah.
was getting at, you know? So, like, you know, Liz, you're trying to ascend to be, what was it, Libra?
Yeah.
So Libra, you have, well, no, that wouldn't make sense either, because Libra's right after Scorpio on this. Or is it before? It's after. What's before? Is it Libra? Because Sagittarius is after Scorpio, right? Am I reading this backwards?
Whose chart are you looking at,
I'm
Liz's?
just looking. I'm just looking at my chart, and I was just looking at the uh, zodiacs around it, and trying to figure out what order it goes in. Or is that shuffled?
It's shuffled.
It's shuffled.
Oh, I thought it was just like a dial. It just turns. I thought it was in the order of the zodiacs. It just shifts. It turns.
I'm confused.
I apparently confused myself. Hold on. Okay.
So it is. I get what you're saying. So
Yeah.
she's saying like if you started, so typically there's, a month of the year associated with each sign, right? So
Yeah.
in January to into December, January you're a Capricorn, right?
Mhm.
February's are Pisces, I do believe, XYZ, whatever, right? So
Yeah.
yes, they are in an order, sort of like Virgo, Leo, Cancer are always going to be together,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? Gemini, Taurus, Aries,
Yeah.
Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn. So,
So it's like in order, but not really in
but
order.
I don't
It's
think
going.
these go Well, actually, do they?
They do go in order the way the houses go in order.
Right. So like,
They're going counterclockwise.
right. So if you wanted to, let's say, start in January
Uh-huh.
to make it easy, right? Because
Yes.
that's where we begin our calendar, right? So you have Capricorn, then you
Okay.
have Aquarius,
Uh-huh.
then Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and so on and so forth till you loop back around to Sagittarius.
Okay.
And then if you notice where the houses line up, right?
Yeah.
They're not directly like, is this your chart? The 10th house
Mm-hmm.
is not
Lands
directly
between
under
Virgo and
Virgo.
Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means your 11th house lands in Virgo and Leo.
And Libra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the house. Okay. So my little theory is still kind of out the window because unless I am on my last life, and maybe
So this
Liz
is what I'll
gonna
tell
ascend
you.
to Libra, and then the next life she's gonna ascend to Scorpio.
If you want, only because, right? And we're getting a little off of the birth chart, but if you think about it, it's a Eastern, right, belief, like Hinduism,
Yeah.
right?
Because this one's the Western.
This birth charts.
Yes, is Western.
So, but if you want to go into like past lives, right?
Mhm.
So based off of what I'm currently reading, which is based on Eastern philosophy, I guess you could say, is you don't have a set number of lives.
Oh,
You're
thank
not
God.
like
I didn't wanna
9
be on my
lives as a
last
cat.
one.
Basically, what it is it again, and this is just based off of the readings. I'm sure there are a myriad of different ways you can look at it in the way that it's taught, but is essentially you have lessons to learn, right? And until
Mhm.
you learn the lessons, you just keep being reborn, right? And the
Mhm.
lesson to learn is that you're here to find yourself, your true self, your inner
Mhm.
self, and that the outer world is just full of distractions,
Mhm.
right? And so the more that we get wrapped up in the outer world, the farther we pull away from the inner world and finding our true self.
Mhm.
So while what you're saying, I do agree with in the sense of there are old souls because there are people who have been here before or souls that have been here before, and
Mhm.
so they usually incarnate in a different lifestyle based off of almost like when you respawn into a video game,
Mhm.
right? You kind of respawn wherever you last saved, if you
Yeah.
will.
Mhm.
So you'll be further along or in a better environment to achieve your goal the more like lives
Yeah.
that you have.
Mhm.
That's not to say you haven't been here a million times. It just
Yeah.
means that you never really learned, like,
Mhm.
you just got wrapped up in like the human outer
Yeah.
world part of it that,
Got caught up in the rat race of life.
yeah.
Mhm.
No,
So
it
it's,
makes sense. I mean, and I do firmly believe that. Like, we keep getting sent back here to learn lessons, but like, yeah,
then you
the
can throw in
ascension.
like your, go ahead.
I was gonna say the ascension part's like really like when it comes to this birth chart is what if this is it for me? Like maybe I am gonna find myself by
Because
the
your
end of this life.
ascendant, your rising sign and your sun sign are the same, you mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, so maybe this is it, and maybe I'm gonna find my true self, and I'm gonna be some higher person somewhere. I don't know.
I wonder if that's something you could look into, right?
Like
Like if
I'm
you
really
could,
curious as to like what happens. Like you level up so many times, so like what
Mhm.
happens when you reach the end? Do you just?
nobody knows.
I would like to know. I want to
Well,
know.
I'm gonna say, I wonder if you could look up the birth chart of someone who died, right?
Uh-huh.
But just because you died doesn't mean that you're done. So
Yeah.
that wouldn't really be helpful either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm just
Interesting.
gonna have to
The thing
send my
about birth
consciousness
charts,
somewhere.
right, is that like I see a lot of people talking about them, right? And they talk about how now, is this the same type of chart that's used? Now, this is a snapshot of the time and date and place of when you were born. But is this the same
Yes.
astrological chart that you see people talking about that they use to describe what's currently going on? Like if you were to put in like today's date and time and pull a chart just off of that, would it give you kind of that, like, because people talk about like Jen mentioned, like Mercury being in retrograde or planets being conjunct and how that affects the things that go on in our environment.
It's similar to it, because then like if you it's a different, I don't know what it's called, I forget. But obviously, you can go on Google, right? And then you can put in the planets aligned on this date, da 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 da, and then it'll pop up where everything's being aligned. Because like now they're talking about Jupiter's and and all these things that are happening and all these conjunctions are happening, but it's pretty much almost the same chart. The
And then,
planets are aligning with the different signs.
Speaking of which, fun fact, I heard that on the 25th of this month that you will visibly be able to see all of the planets in alignment
Oh, really?
with the naked eye.
What? Let me see this. I gotta open my Star Chart app. You said the 25th?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta put this in my calendar. I want to see that.
I mean, I heard it on the internet, so take it for what you will. So, what are some ways that you can use this chart to, I don't know, what other
to help out,
information? Yeah.
right? So that's where all the houses, you understanding the different houses on the chart. So I'm just going to go over them really quickly.
Yeah.
We'll just do that.
I think that would be helpful.
Okay, so your first house is your appearance, your first impressions, your style. It's the outer you. The second one is money, possessions, income, assets. So any planets that fall into that, it's going to help you kind of achieve those things.
But we're looking at all of it, right? The planets and the zodiac that is within
Well, she's
that
just
house?
going over the houses right now.
Yeah, right now I'm just going over the houses and what they mean.
But so like what I'm saying is, like, as far as like what falls in it, like it's the zodiac and the planets that affect it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And 3 is your siblings, like how you interact with your siblings, schools, trips, your community, people in that aspect. And matter of fact, that the first 3 houses is considered like your self-development. How you're going to help develop yourself in the, it's developing yourself. Okay. So the next 3, because I'm going to do it in every 3.
So 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6. 4 is your past, how you interact with like your father, like masculine people in your life, home, family, your lineage, privacy. Number 5 is like children, creativity, pleasures, romance, good fortune, stuff like that. Number 6 is your health, wellness, routines, works, pets, how all that comes into your life. And all that is your self-expressions.
What if you don't have any planets in your house?
It's more so natural.
Okay.
There's no ways of, I guess, trying to understand or anything that's going to help you. Sorry, I got these little fuzzies. Help you understand it more, because that's what the planets are, right? They're just there to guide you and to help you. Some, if you don't have anything in your houses, is just more so naturally, it's just going to happen.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you have like a whole bunch in one area? Does that mean like that's where you need
some help?
Yeah, because I got like a lot. I got a lot on one side, and then I got a lot that have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, no, but seriously, right? So we talked about me being more well-rounded because I had kind of a different, but really does it mean that like I just need a lot more help? Like you guys were kind of all on like one side of your chart that was like really, based off of what you've said in the first 6 houses, is really more about
Yeah.
your self-development and how you and then expressions, right?
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
I'm
But
just a hot
see,
mess in
on
every
your
area.
no, see what it is
Oh,
your
poor
charts,
Liz.
a lot of your planets are feeding off of each other. If they're helping each other
Okay.
get you to where you need to be in that aspect of life. So it's not necessarily meaning that you need help. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
all these, you're all over the place. That doesn't mean that. It just means that in order to get that to that place or that point, maybe, if this is how you should be feeling or this is what you are feeling. And then if it's like a sign that's, because your chart's like this, right?
Mhm.
Bing, 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 bing. But these bings could mean that this one's really going to help out this one in this aspect.
That makes
You know,
sense.
like
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 maybe it's
your
placed there because it's more helpful there than it would be
yeah,
actually in that house.
The
yeah.
That
way
makes
I
sense.
see it is Liz is a superhero and she can just harness the astrology and be like, "Whew, balance." Yeah.
It's so funny. All right, so let's do 7, 8, and 9.
Mhm.
7 is in the house of relationships, marriage, partners. 8 is death, like how you handle death, debt,
I literally have
taxes.
nothing in my. I, what does that mean? I have nothing.
Well, do you have any debt?
Death?
Debt.
I
Or
thought you
how you
said
handle
death.
death. No, death is one of them. It's how
Yeah.
you handle. So this is self-expansion, like um
This little. Okay, I'm peacocking over
how
here, you
to
guys. I don't know what the fuck is going
how to deal with these situations. So maybe you don't have anything in your 8th house because it's not like a big issue for you.
Interesting.
Death, debt, taxes,
How about
couple money, inheritance, and your psyche.
could it be that these things are not going to be so influential in your path?
Yeah.
Like would be so like not to say that you don't have what you consider to be a problem, right? Or that you don't handle these things well, but that the way that you handle them or the way that they transpire in your life is not necessarily something that's going to block you or keep you from moving forward.
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate. That's a very accurate assessment, I feel.
Mhm.
Because while I obviously have dealt with a lot of loss,
Mhm.
I grieve and I just keep it going
Mhm.
best I
And
can.
like some people on their charts, when they do deal with death, it really crushes them and they cannot move
Mhm.
forward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just depending on how you handle it. Like your soul already knows how to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because she's been a warrior her whole life. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know that.
Mhm.
I've been
Well, in all of her lives.
all of my lives, except for the one
Mhm.
where I was a circus trainer, a lion tamer. I was. I was
I
a
feel
lion.
like equally as dangerous.
I was a lion tamer in one life, and I was a coal miner in another life.
Ugh.
I would definitely count the me being the tavern owner as a
Oh, I
warrior
forgot about
because I
that
was
one.
a female. I was
Oh
a
yeah.
female, like one of the first female tavern owners in the Wild West.
Did you have tapestries in there?
Probably.
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 I love it. Okay, so you said not the ninth house, I think was where we
It's travel, study of religion, international faith, divine, and God.
have a lot of things going on in that house.
Do you? Okay, and then now you have 10, 11, and 12, and that's your self transcendence of how.
I got nothing going on over there. I know
So
you said it's
10,
not a big deal, but like
yeah.
it's kind of freaking me out.
But
Oh, no, you gotta freak it out.
maybe you're just really strong in those areas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Career, fame. Number 10 is career, fame, reputation, professions, you out in public. 11 is hopes and wishes, community, good spirit, friendships, groups, luck. And number 12 is like retreat, escape, hidden, like your unconsciousness of your mind, of things that you hope and wish and dream for.
Now, what if your ascending sign falls on like the line between like your 12th and first house?
It will always fall. Everyone's ascending sign falls
Oh,
on the line of your first and 12th.
interesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But it just depends on,
Where the signs fall
yeah.
on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't wait to like deep dive into the houses more. Because I think that's
Mhm.
Oh, our group chat's about to blow up.
huh?
Tina! What does this mean?
What does this mean?
I'm like this sleeper. Huh? Oh, hold on.
That is inaccurate. I don't text people in the middle of the night. I barely text people at all.
Yeah. Doo-doo-doo.
But no, I honestly I am really interested to like deep dive because I mean you guys know I've been kind of lost. I don't freaking know what's next for me and I'm trying to figure it out and I think this
Well, this is the thing about birth charts, right? Like it's good to get information to help guide you. But at the end of it all, you have free will to do whatever you want and proceed how you want it to be.
yeah, but maybe
you know.
that's why we keep failing the lesson because we're just doing whatever the fuck we want. And that's why we're still here.
He has a valid point. They're like literally wrote it out for you
Yeah,
and
like,
you
they're
chose
like,
to
here's
ignore
a
it.
map. Here's a map.
They're like, here you
for
go.
you."
Follow it.
No,
If you
I think
don't, oh well.
I'm gonna go this way. I'd try again later.
So funny.
See, like mine's on mine's kind of all on one side. But I don't have any that oh yeah, I do. So my son, what is that? Hold on. And my Uranus, are complete opposites of each other.
God,
Oh, no,
we're
they're
such
not.
Children.
I know.
I love it.
Okay, so which one of these symbols means your son? Okay, so the circle
one
with
that-
the
Dot. The
Mhm.
one looks like a
Okay.
boob.
yep. So you're a Cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
My Mercury's in Cancer, my Jupiter's in Cancer.
This thing is like so multi-layered.
Yeah,
Right.
there's so much.
Because like correct me if I'm wrong, Tina, right? So there's information provided to you based off of just those three things, right?
Yes.
That your sun, your Mercury, and your Jupiter are in Cancer.
Yeah.
But then there's also information about those three signs being in your 11th house.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also information to be given because your 11th house is in Cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I have all three things of the
All
11th house.
those things.
Which the 11th house are hopes, wishes, community, good spirit, friendships, groups, and luck.
And that's where I was going. So all of those things really just discuss that aspect of your life or personality or
yeah.
And then again, to go back to the lines are connecting
in degrees.
Each planet.
It could be if they fall in that if they fall in those degrees, like the conjunctions, the sextiles, the squares, the oppositions.
Right. So let's just say, for example, if we're looking at your chart, in your 4th house, you have this trident looking character, which would be, right. Then there's a purple line that goes over to Libra. To this
purple line.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like on my phone is purple. Magenta.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That goes back towards Libra.
Which that's my Pluto.
Okay. And then what does that signify? Or are we following that line up to the next thing and that's what makes your degree?
So that one, yeah, if we follow that one, I believe that one's considered a sextile, which means that they kind of help each other out in those aspects of those houses.
Those three things help each other out because
No,
it's
the
got
two.
3 points, or the two at the farthest end of the angle.
Yeah, just the two from that to that.
Got you.
Yeah. I mean, if the other one is going to my Venus sign,
Mm-hmm.
wait, yeah, my Pluto is going to my Venus, they help each other out. Not necessarily all three of them, just where it connects from one to one.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of these angles, right, seem to have 3 points, but I find it interesting on where they land because there's no real what looks like rhyme or reason or pattern here, right? Because if you go back to, and what is that? The little trident guy in your Sagittarius?
That one would be Neptune.
Neptune. So your Neptune in Sagittarius has the yellow angle, which is a very cute angle that goes back up to your Cancer, where when the one we were looking at previously is like really wide and open and lands on another planet as one of the third points there. Do you see what I'm saying?
So those aren't actually pointing. Was it Jupiter and so is that pointing to Jupiter and Mercury then? The one
So
from the
no,
Neptune?
but I guess there are always three symbols
there,
associated.
Yeah, there is. That one would be. So if it's coming from directly from one planet, and there's several different ones coming. I see what you're saying now. If it's coming from the one planet, right, and it's out, then yes, that means it could be like the trine, which is the triangle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that you meant, and this was my mistake. I just thought it meant like what you were saying, like it goes from this point to this point and then this point.
Mm-hmm.
In order for it to be a degree or an aspect, it all has to come from the one point.
Gotcha.
So it has to come out from the one point.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Except for your oppositions, which is directly opposite of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like mine would be
like whatever's in Scorpio and then whatever's in Taurus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those don't like each other.
Gotcha.
They will do whatever they can to,
and that's that 180-degree angle because it's a flat line.
Yeah. Yeah. They do whatever they can to
be on the opposite side of the chart.
Pretty much.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much in this that, like you said, you could talk about this for hours.
Does everybody have that line from Scorpio to Taurus?
No, it would be like yours is different.
But I mean, we all have a line that goes from Scorpio to Taurus. I mean, it's pointing at different planets, but we all have a line.
We do. But like mine is more from, like, it is technically Scorpio. I think that might just be a similarity between our birth charts. Tina, you could correct me if I'm way off the mark here, but because mine is almost in Libra and Aries more than it is Scorpio to Taurus.
Yours is almost right on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm looking at my kids' charts too, when theirs are different.
They're not lined up like that at all.
No.
To Scorpio to Taurus.
So
I wonder if that has any kind of significance about how we wound up meeting each other.
Maybe.
That is.
Where does it fall in our houses?
Let's see here. Come on.
Well, my line goes through 1 and 7.
And hers is 3 and 9. And mine is
guess I can pop this up so
1 and 7 too. Oh no, that's you.
so everybody can see what we're kind of looking at.
No, actually, I am in 1 and 7 as
Oh,
well.
So we're talking about this blue line right here. Mine points to which one's the horseshoe again? Is that Mercury?
Your north node.
I'm sorry, north node.
Uh-huh.
And
Then to the 5. What is
mine's
5?
the 5. But you see it goes into the Scorpio. Oh, I was like, is my mouse showing up on that screen? Yeah, okay. So the Scorpio and then
I
the
don't see
Taurus.
mouse.
But mine, even my north node or whatever, it's almost on the line of Gemini and Taurus.
Right. And
But-
mine is more on the line of Aries and Libra.
Yeah.
And that's where your degrees come in.
But
And that's
sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm saying that's how people try to differ between
Yeah.
more so because they're like, oh well, technically, you're this
So
way.
mine's
Right.
pointing
I
to
am-
Pluto. So that's my north node in Pluto. And yours is your north node and Saturn?
Is that
No.
what
Yeah. 5 is Saturn.
Saturn? Okay. And so Saturn, what did Saturn disciplines, fears, responsibilities is
Mm.
what.
And yours is. These symbols take a minute.
Yeah. Because they all look the same.
No, they don't, but they.
They do. They all have a ball,
What are
arms, and some horns.
Oh, so Tina's is your Chiron
yeah,
and your
sorry, I was
Uranus.
yes, my anus.
I
So
wonder what that
inappropriate.
means.
Okay.
Individuality and uniqueness for Uranus.
Yeah, but that's in her 3rd house.
Yeah.
My 3rd and my 9th house, right? So my
Yeah.
3rd house is sibling schools.
Community.
Yep.
And your 9th house
is travel, studies, faith, divine, God.
So does that mean
communication.
like they just like don't align at all? Like they're just those 2 aspects of your life?
What am I? You said Uranus?
Correct.
Uranus and my Shinran.
Yes.
So your Chiron, I think that's how you pronounce it. So many people pronounce these things all different. Ultimate healing and deepest wounds, which is in my 9th house.
Mm-hmm.
So being more travel, study, religion, faith. I probably need more faith, right? And then your Uranus is individuality, uniqueness, desperate for change, which in reality that is true for number 3: siblings, school, short trips, neighborhood communication, like growing up. So basically this part is like number 3 is like when you grew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I grew up in the hood, so that's why I needed to change that, right? But what they're saying, because they're complete opposites, the way it lands on the chart. Where's my notes? Okay. I need to not cuss in Korean. Hold on a second. Where'd it go? Are you laughing at me? Stop it. I'm looking. I just had it. Where the hell? Oh, hold on. Okay. So they go against each other.
Right.
Jen, you're an ass. So it won't help me out in those 2 aspects to get to where I need to go. So in order for me to get to religion and travel and stuff like that, then is it Neptune or Uranus that's in my 3rd house?
Uranus.
So for me to change desperately, and my uniqueness is not going to help me get to my religion and travel
So
and
you
all
got to
that kind
be
of stuff.
a normal human being to get to your religion and travel. As well.
Yes. Yes.
So what was the first and seventh house again?
The first is your appearance,
Appearance.
appearance, first impressions, your style, your outer.
Okay. And then the seventh.
Is your relationships, marriage, partners, that aspect.
Ugh.
Interesting.
Now, which ones are those?
We
have different.
yeah, mine was pointing to Saturn
Okay.
And your north node.
and my north node.
Okay, so let's look up Saturn and north nodes. Saturn, hold on, which one was Saturn? Saturn was in which house?
First house.
And your north node?
Seventh.
The seventh. Okay, so Saturn is disciplines and fears to overcome responsibilities and stuff like that.
So in order to overcome
that's in your
them,
first house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in order to like overcome the fears and to be able to stay committed to my disciplines and responsibilities, I got to tap into my Scorpio side. Tapping into the Taurus side would not help.
Yeah.
Right? I just want to make sure I'm understanding and breaking it down for people like me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then in your seventh house, you have the
north
node. So what it's saying is that your Saturn is not going to be helping you in your north node to get to relationships, marriage, and partner, and then vice versa. Your north node is not going to help you with your impressions, style, things like that.
Okay. Did you find out what the little R's mean?
I didn't know what you were talking about. What little R's?
R's are you talking about?
So on where my north node, it says 28 degrees, 13 feet Taurus, little R.
It's minutes.
It's minutes. It's just still funny to me. And then under the Shiro, it says 7 degrees, 11 minutes.
Oh.
Gemini, little R.
I think it's just all these different websites. They have different breakdowns of how they do their charts.
Yeah.
And I think it has something to do with just the way they're representing the birth chart and stuff like that.
All right. It's probably one of those super deep dives, like getting into the feet in minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So funny.
And then what was yours, Liz? What was your conjunction?
It was
or opposition?
My opposition is dang. I have
yours is the
Venus,
first and seventh.
Yeah, so I have Venus in my seventh house and Pluto in my first.
Okay. So what they're saying, with your first house. What?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, your appearance, impressions, your outer shell, right? Power, transform, improve, make better in your life, regeneration.
Wow, even my birth chart is sassing my gym routine right now, or the lack thereof. Gosh.
And then in your seventh house, relationships, marriage, and partner is love, value in life, beauty, aesthetics, the way you express love.
Okay.
But those two, because they're directly across from each other, that one, what they're saying is Venus is not going to help you in Pluto in that aspect.
Isn't Venus like the
Right? You
goddess
have to
of
find a
love?
different way. Yeah, that's why they call it Venus. This is exactly why they call that. Because all these planets, they actually have like true names, which are the goddess.
Gods and I know, like
God
I
and
used to,
goddess.
yeah, I used to study all of that, but I just think it's funny because didn't you say the Venus was not in the Love House one? That's why.
No,
I
it
No,
was
is.
it
Oh,
is.
it
It
is.
is.
Oh,
But
in-
it's
okay.
it
not
is in
going to
rela-
help me with my outer shell problem.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Well, at
Yeah.
least you got Venus
Just
in your
hitting the
love house.
gym. Me loving myself, right? And saying that everyone else loves me and I can love myself the way that I am is not going to help me. I'm just kidding. So, hey, real circle back around to that little R, and I think
Mhm.
this makes sense, means that they were in retrograde.
Oh, that could be.
Oh, you're so freaking smart. Oh my
That-
god.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, then I
Yeah.
wonder if that website lied to me about Mercury being in retrograde.
Well, listen, Tina was giving you a weird face the whole time you were reading, like, where the hell did you get that information? So,
I googled it.
I don't. This was like her saying, "Oh, well, it's in the 29th degree, 48 feet, 72
Look,
minutes, and the depth of 48 says that I am a morning star." I'm like, huh?
Hold
There's
on.
3 of them. What are you talking about?
Hold on. First, let me re-Google this one. Was Mercury retrograde November 4th, 1984? Yes, Mercury was in retrograde on Tuesday. November, you stupid internet, not December. I literally typed out November. Okay, so the internet lied to me on that one. And then, how did I find that? How to figure out if your Mercury is morning star or evening star.
Well, that's where your Mercury lies in on your chart. And your Mercury lies. Oh, hold on. Mercury. Okay, it's the little devil guy. Let's see. Now I got to pull up your chart.
These are technical terms, by the way.
Yeah.
They are. All right.
I would like to know what you refer to as the little devil guy.
He's
It's the one with the little horns.
yeah, he's got
It's
the
the
little
circle.
horns.
The little horns.
Oh, sure is. Look at that. He really is a devil guy.
Because the chart, okay, what is this, horizon? So anything that falls below the horizon is evening. Where your
And what
ascendant
dictates
Yeah.
the horizon? Is that your ascending line? Is the horizon? Okay.
Yep. Anything that falls below that is evening. Anything above that is morning. And that's where your MC comes in, because that is like your morning.
Your morning.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
highest
so
point.
I
of the-
did figure that part out earlier as far as, but there was something somewhere that said if it's, because I remember I said there's 3. There's morning star, evening star, and the combust, which I'm assuming is like the
on the line.
yeah, and that's
Above
that's
the
when I said
line,
it was
below
14
the line,
degrees.
or on the line.
Yeah. But your Mercury is
Below.
itself is below the line.
Evening. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, we
It
fixed
didn't
that.
lie. You just couldn't explain it very well.
No, I'm terrible at explaining it, especially when I can't find the material I was referencing in here.
I was getting a little confused because you said you had 3 of them.
There's no. It was saying, and of course, I probably closed out that freaking webpage. I did. There were saying that Scorpios. There are 3 versions. That a Scorpio can either be a Libra, Scorpio, or whatever the third one was. And
Sagittarius?
Octobers, yeah, and because Octobers are more likely to be the Libra one. November Scorpios are more likely to be the Sagittarius one, but I'm special because I'm the Scorpio one.
Tina was saying that earlier, though, was that when you get close, and that's where the degrees and the minutes come in, because the closer you are to a different sign, the more that you could maybe lean towards that way.
Which your Mercury actually lands almost on the cusp of Sagittarius and Scorpio. See, you're 26 degrees.
Oof.
Mhm.
So you could be inching
Either
your
or.
way into Sagittarius.
Yeah, you are.
Lean this way a little bit.
Mhm. Lean with it.
Lean with it.
Interesting. Well, my Mercury is a morning Mercury, or how do you say that? A morning star.
Morning star.
You're a morning
Morning
star.
star.
And what does that even mean?
Bright. Go
Yeah.
ahead. There
Yeah.
is a meaning.
Yeah, there's an actual like meaning behind it.
Mhm.
Pretty much, you're more youthful, but you're less experienced.
No, you know what it is?
Hmm.
So this is the line. Anything that's above the line in your planets, you are considered to be an extrovert. You're
Huh.
a little bit extra going.
I could see
Anything that falls below on the evening part is introvert.
Spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you have the vertical, or not the vertical. Yeah, the vertical is this way.
Yeah.
So any planets that lie on this side, which is your Eastern, right, indicate independence. And on the other side,
Okay, when
indicate
you say Eastern, are we looking at this like a compass?
kind of, yeah. So
Where
when
you're-
you're looking at the chart, when you're looking at the chart, the
Mhm.
left side actually is the Eastern.
Okay, so it's opposite then.
It's
of the
opposite. And the
concept.
reason why, this is another thing, a reason why when you look at all of it and everything seems to be a little bit opposite is because everything is the reflection of the moon when you look at all the stars and you look at everything.
I
When
was
you can
thinking
see
more like
stuff.
the sun rises in the east, and
That could
it's
be
in
the
the west.
two, but they say that it has a lot to do with the reflection, so they turn it
Interesting.
opposite. So on the right side, the Eastern, or the left side, so it'd be Eastern, indicates independence, and on the other side indicates willingness to accommodate others and demands. So it's more like
Oh, I have so
you're
many things
caving
on
in.
that side.
Which side's which?
The left side is independence,
Oh, yes.
and the right side is
Opposite
people
that.
pleasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Liz, your reaction. Oh, I got so many on
I
that.
got so many things in there. It's not good. It's not good.
That's
So, something that I just noticed,
Mm.
and it seemed like a mind-blowing revelation to me, is that your MC creates the
Mhm.
vertical line, and your ascending creates the horizontal line.
Mhm. Somewhat, but your MC could be off
Really?
a little bit.
Okay.
It can
Mine
be a
are
little,
like dead on balls accurate. Like
yeah. Some people's are off just by a smidget. It's
yeah,
just
like
the way, yeah.
Jen's.
It's just like the time
Hers
of
is
day
a
that you were
little
born.
drunk.
Yeah.
So,
But basically, it's
Oh, and yeah, yours is a little. Oh, so I guess
Mhm.
mine's just.
You're straight and narrow.
so Geminis with Gemini Mercury in the morning star phase
That's me.
will usually take it upon themselves to make the right choice and blame themselves for the wrong choice. For Geminis with Gemini Mercury in the that's evening. Just kidding. I don't need to read that one. I don't know if that resonates with you at all.
I mean, it kind of does.
This one is kind of the same thing.
But
Okay,
it also was like kind of contradictory because it's like saying that I'll always make the right choice, but then blame myself when
No,
I
you
don't.
take responsibility for making right choices and you blame yourself for wrong ones.
No.
Does it resonate? Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right, let me ask you this. Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
guys know the difference between like your fixed signs, mutable signs, and cardinal signs?
I understood fixed signs.
Okay.
And I don't even remember what it means. I just know that I've heard fixed signs before. Everything else, I have no idea.
So the way the chart is built, right? You have all your signs, and there are certain ones that are cardinal signs. There's certain like Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries.
Cardinal signs.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the definitions of them when I'm done.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Fixed signs are Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. They never move. They're fixed. They just stay where they're at, right? Mutable signs are Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces.
Okay.
Okay, to understand these cardinal, fixed, and mutable signs, I've seen an analogy and it really made a lot of sense. So cardinals, which I'm a cardinal, I'm like, hey, I got this idea. Come on, let's go do it. Da, 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 da. Right?
Like a little
Then
bird.
you have, huh?
Like a little bird.
Yeah, like a little bird. And then mutable signs that is like Liz would say, all right, well, let's go ahead and just get this information together that she's talking about. And I guess we'll just go ahead and do it.
It's so funny that you said that because as like I was watching Liz's face, her face was like, I'm a mutable sign. Ugh. Like she was so disgusted that she's a mutable sign.
And then the fixed sign is like, yeah, we're going to do it. And this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to get it done.
That's my sister is a fixed sign.
And then
I think that kind of depends
do you think so?
on situations because I feel like just based off of your example alone, like I feel like there would be situations where I'm like, I don't really give a shit about this.
Because it's in dependent of what house it's in, right? Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Learning.
So yeah,
Mhm.
so you're affected by, right? You're
Mhm.
going off of, like she talked about in the beginning, solely off of your
Mhm.
sun sign.
Mhm.
But depending on what aspect of your life you're talking about, that's how that sign affects how you become either a more mutable disposition, a fixed disposition, or a
Okay.
cardinal.
Yeah.
So like mutables, right?
Uh-huh.
Because Liz is immutable, but it's more like you're basically more open-minded, flexible. You understand the situations on a different level and different angles. So that's why you're kind of just like, all right, yeah, let's just do it.
Okay,
Like you're
that
going
makes
with the
yeah,
flow.
that aligns more.
Mhm.
But see, that's also why I have a bunch of people pleasing shit in my chart as well, because sometimes you can be too mutable.
Yeah. And then fixed signs,
Can be very stubborn,
but they're grounded and they're
like a tree.
yeah, they're stubborn, but they're really grounded. So whatever they decide that they're going to do, they're just going to stick to that
Mhm.
and they're going to do it. And then me being a cardinal sign, I like change and I like new beginnings. I do. I'm always like, can we move? I want to
So
move.
it's funny because like some like images that popped into my head are like because you said Aries and Gemini
Hmm.
and Pisces
For what? Cardinal?
for mutable.
Oh, mutable. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces.
So like I don't know about the other two, but I know like your Pisces and the Gemini are both like either a water or an air sign, very
Hmm.
mutable signs, right? They
Hmm.
flow with whatever's going on, very adaptable,
Hmm.
right? Where then when you think about your fixed signs, they, like you said, rooted. The first thing that popped into my brain was like a giant freaking tree, right? Like you're
Hmm.
not changing that, it ain't going anywhere. And
Hmm.
then like your cardinal signs remind me more of like a season
Hmm.
than an element.
Hmm.
Like
Because we change.
That
you
is
do, but
Mhm.
not like an
Mhm.
air or a water, but you do change.
Hmm.
But a little bit more intentional, maybe?
Yeah, because we
Right?
want to.
Yeah. There's a
Mhm.
purpose behind it.
Mhm.
I like it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was all very interesting.
Well, ladies, do you have any more thoughts or questions? Or like again, like I
Mm-mm.
right now I feel like this was very educational. So Tina, thank you so much for
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
putting it together and tolerating our nonsense. Um,
Nah.
while we all learn a little something. But like Jen said, bro, I think we just popped open Pandora's box because now I want to like deep dive
Mhm.
and get into morning stars and
Mhm.
47 feet, you know?
Mhm. It's like once you see the chart and like you just understand that basic chart of
Yeah.
where everything lies. Now you want to know, okay, now this is where I lie. I want to know what that means.
Yeah. And really
Yeah.
for me, it's more about like what we went over,
Mhm.
taking the time to really get to know those symbols and
Mhm.
how they, you know, are conjunct or what was the word you used when they're opposing or like
Mhm.
all that stuff and how that all ties together because like I
Mhm.
said in one house you can have like 4 or 5 different things
Mhm.
that can layer on top of each other so it's very complex
Mhm.
and this is why I told you I opened that book and was like okay yeah that's not for me right now because but I think that this will help make
Yeah.
that make more sense.
Maybe you can open up the book and go straight to chapter 3.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have a little bit of a grasp on it now.
Yeah.
But I also think thinking now back to the book, I think it might be something a little bit different and not necessarily birth chart related. So
Mm.
I'll have to look, but I know it was referenced in there,
Mhm.
but this was awesome. I love learning new things and uh being able to watch you talk about like there would be moments where you'd be like, I don't really, and then you'd be like, no, what it is
Yeah.
this. And then you'd be
My
like,
mind's like,
yes. But
my
it's
mind
too
is,
much to remember. If you're
it's a
not doing
lot.
this, you know, every
Mhm.
day, day in and day out, like it, I could see how you could need lots of
Mhm.
copious notes for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that this was a great like building block for
100%.
like coming back like okay now I mean I don't know what we're
Mhm.
going to talk about next week but it's I'm sure we're going to build.
Foundational.
Yeah, foundational. That's
We're
great.
gonna keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise. It's a mystery. That's what my niece loves to do. She's like, it's a mystery. I don't know why. I love it. It's my favorite. The mystery.
Fantastic.
Oh my God,
All
it's so
right,
funny.
buddies. Well, thank you all for tuning in wherever you're tuning in from on the YouTube or the Spotify. And, make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and TikTok while it's still available.
Yeah. And I guess, I don't know, Tina, are you offering any type of birth chart assistance for anyone who would be interested?
If they want to leave some information, if we're on YouTube or wherever they're seeing this, if they just leave some information, I can help them and point them into the right direction or figure it out.
I love it.
I'm willing to help.
Perfect.
Hmm.
Because I do, like you said, I think that's a great place to start. Like
Hmm.
if you're, looking into, whatever it is, whether it be spirituality or just learning more about yourself or just trying to navigate
Hmm.
life, I think that this offers a lot of insight into
Hmm.
what makes you you.
Yeah, because like I said, the majority of the people basically only know their sun sign. They just
Mhm.
think they're that one sign and that's that. And there's a lot of aspects,
Yeah, there is.
Because you could be that sun sign, but barely.
Yeah.
barely,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
barely.
barely. But barely. And then
Hmm.
like if we want to throw you guys through another loop, like we can get into human design because that's like a whole nother thing that affects things. Like
Um,
oh my god, it's so much
oh, it's
information.
unreal. It'll blow your mind. Oh my,
You're gonna be like, wait a minute, I like these kind of foods more. Like, why does that affect me
right?
more? It's
Mm.
crazy.
Jen, I think
Right?
you inadvertently segued into next week's episode.
Maybe.
Cat's out of the
Maybe
Listen,
not. That's a lot.
why when you brought that up, the first thing that popped in my mind was the food aspect of it.
Because it's like the most like not
Yeah.
craziest, but it's just so random. Like both.
digestible foods,
Yeah,
like what's best for your blood,
what
everything.
foods you like best and where you resonate best, like whether it's like a cave or the
Mhm.
beach, like or a marketplace. It's just it's wild. But
Yeah.
all right, buddies. Well, I think this was a very successful first episode back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yay.
let's give ourselves a round of applause. All right, bye,
So
buddies.
corny.
Bye.